Hello, I am ND Sanjay of third year Information Systems, and my topic is to explain about CSRF Introduction. This room is about the basic fundamentals of CSRF. CSRF means cross-site request forgery, which means like it is a vulnerability that tricks an authenticated user browser like into executing some unwanted actions without any concern, without any the user's consent. So throughout this room we are going to just like to touch about the and just easily understand about the basic CSRF mechanisms. In the task one, they are just giving about some introduction about the CSRF. The modern web applications rely heavily on authenticated sessions. Whenever we are on a website or some websites like banking and also e-commerce, the browser and the server of the website creates a session cookie to communicate each other and also maintain the records. So the in the whole process there is some involving of some tokens like cookies, which means also session cookies. So through using the session cookies, the attackers can do some unwanted activities without the user's consent. So, for example of CSRF, we can say if a user logs into a bank account, like bank website, and in other tab, if he navigates into a like suspicious evil tabs, the attacker can easily perform some irrelevant action through the session cookies by the already existing session cookies. So through this, he can even change the password. He can even change the authentication of the email, and also he can even transact the money and also etc. So much of he can the attacker can do. First of all, the main CSRF concept is to not stealing some credentials or not stealing or bypassing something. It's like doing a certain unrelevant action without any concern of the user. So in the task one named interaction, we are just joining the room and also starting the two boxes or two machines called attacker machine and lab machine. So so checking the room, task one is just simply completes the task one. So this is the end of the task one introduction. Before the for throughout the whole CSRF room, the task 5 and task 6 is very complicated because it needs the usage and working of the two boxes. I mean the two machines. But other task doesn't need any use of these two machines. It's simply just a theory and answer from it. So we can start the two machines whenever it is needed when we jump into the task 5 and 6. So now let's jump into the task 2, named what is CSRF. The CSRF is a website vulnerability where the attacker tricks the user's browser by sending a unwanted unrelevant request to the website server and doing some unwanted actions which will cause some danger or some malicious to the user's account. First of all, the user should already authenticated through the browser. So the browser automatically includes the session cookies for every request, so the attacker can easily trick the user without any is concern. First of all, instead of stealing login credentials, the attacker just abuses the relationship between the browser and the web application server by using sending and requesting some actions, such as changing email address or updating account settings. These changes or modifications are not done by the user directly and also without any of his intention or concern. Just for an example, imagine a user is logged into a internal portal or any banking portal while browsing the internet, and he visits another page or another if the another page is a malicious web page created by any attacker or hacker. That page can the malicious page can silently trigger a request to the portal. So if the application does not have any proper security or which is used to verify the origin of the request, it may process and proceed the request without any user consent. From the flow diagram, we can easily understand if a user logs into a web application, the session cookies are just stored. Through the session cookies, the attacker uses it as a ID and act as an already authenticated user, and sends a request to the server, and he can do many multiple relevant unnecessary actions. So it is mainly depend on state changing. So the session cookie, first of all, the session cookie and the user should be authenticated before the attack begins. If these are just done means the attack can be easily done. First of all, why this is dangerous means so through the CSRF attacks, we can the attacker can easily change email address and some other relevant confidential sensitive information of the user. So for these questions, what relationship between the browser and the web application does a CSRF means, we can easily say it's about trust. So we can just type trust and check means is just correct. And for second one, what does the browser automatically include with the requests of after login? It's definitely session cookies. So here we can easily include cookies and check means it's that go correct answer. So we now move on to the task 3 named why CSRF works. So the CSRF completely depends on the the already authenticated users and also the session cookies. When the user when the user logs or authenticates into a website, the browser just automatically sends cookies and stores the session cookies, and the website server will also directly trust the relationship and the communication between the web application and also the server because of using and storing the session cookies. Let's see about the key conditions for a CSRF attack. For a CSRF attack, there are three main conditions which are usually have to exist. The victim must be authenticated to the targeted application, and the application must perform a state changing action. The state changing action means like updating the confidential details or profile of the user, or modifying the account data, and so much. There are many things. And the third one is to the application must not verify whether the request came from a trusted source. The web application or the server should not have any proper security or like secured protocols. So if these conditions exist, an attacker may be able to perform actions on behalf of the victim without ever knowing their credentials. Which means the through CSRF attacks, the attackers or hackers doesn't have any need to know about the user's credentials. So in the next task, we will know about how the CSRF vulnerabilities are done and so on. For the task 3 answer, first of all, the question what is means, what type of action is usually required for a CSRF attack to succeed? It's a state changing action. We can see the state changing in the key conditions. The application must perform a state changing action, and it just got correct answer. So next we move on to the fourth task named finding CSRF vulnerabilities. In the task finding CSRF vulnerabilities, we can see the common features vulnerable to CSRF. The common features are the common state tag changing actions are just changing email address, update account password, editing the user's profile details, and also so on. Here we can see the common misconception between the get and post request of the relationship between web application and the web application server and also the browser. Many developers assume that using the post method automatically protects against CSRF attacks, which is not true. Which means the both get and post request are very vulnerable to the attacks and also can be easily abused. For the questions below, what HTTP request method do many developers incorrectly believe prevents CSRF? It's definitely post. We can see that in the get versus post, a common misconception title. What mechanism is commonly used to protect applications from CSRF attacks? We can see it from the CSRF tokens. Through CSRF tokens, we can easily reduce the attacks of CSRF attacks. So entering the CSRF tokens as answer gives us correct answer. Okay, we are now going to enter the task 5 and also after that task 6. These tasks are the most complicated in this whole room because it needs to start the both machines before moving to task 5 and 6. We can start the attack box and also lab machine. And we are now reached the task 5. Here for the task 5 and 6 we are going to navigate into a portal called staff hub, where employees are going to enter their username and password and got login into the dashboard and also the website. So the task 5 wants us to enter user and I mean username and also password, and we should get login. If we log in into the dashboard, I mean the staff hub, there are whole three tabs named dashboard, settings and logout. Here in the dashboard we can see our username, our what is our full name, the email address and also the department and also the role, current role. If we go move to the settings, there is like a small form where we can update the role and the email address of us, but if we try to update using any email address, it just not, because it is the whole forms are protected using a small file where it is named update.php, yeah, update email.php. So to bypass and to payload this, we are going to create another file named settings.html in our attack box, where in our attack box we are going to do the whole process in the terminal. The task file, the page of the task file is just gave the detailed description and the solution of the task file. So first of all, this form component, I mean this section says and gives about how the forms and how the submitting is working. So we are now going to develop another malicious page named settings.html in our attack box. So this is the sample code, I mean this is the code we are going to create for the settings.html. So first of all, we should change our directory to a certain directory which was mentioned in the task file, and giving these commands just creates the html file. So before that, we should, so now if we just paste the code, means we can easily change. But before that, for the answer to for I mean in the task 5 answer to, we are going to just update this certain settings.html to a name called special at evil mail. We are just replace this into special at evil mail, so we can change it later. And when we just save this file, and now just verify the settings.html file. And now we are just created the settings.html file. After creating the settings.html, we can navigate to the main tab where we can see this link. We should paste this link into the web browser. So after pasting it and also entering it, navigates us to another separate login page. Are entering our username and password, just gets the another file. So when we just enter our user and name and the password, we can just get the flag for the first question. So entering this flag, just enable the correct answer. So for finding out the second flag, we should slightly modify the settings.html file. So if we modify the attacker at evilmail.hm into the special one, we and if we log into the login page, we can get the second flag. So after saving it, so after entering the special evil mail, we got the flag named my special email 007. So we just updated the whole settings.html to the attacker email from the attacker evil mail to special email. I mean special evil mail. So we can see that here. After updating it, we can obtain the flag named special email 007. So checking it gives the correct answer. So it is the end of the task 5. For the task 6, we should update the role, and there is some more security in the updating role. Now we move on to the task 6 named exploitation over weak tokens. Now we can see how to update the role. Here the role was secured by a token, which is a weak token. We can easily see the token through inspect, or like any other thing. So now the how the token works is already gave in the task 6 panel. First of all, this is the how the how the update role is secured. This is how the tags is given. This is the input tag where which says how the update role is secured. First of all, here the value or the token is secured by a cryptographic method named base64. So this YWRTA, this is the decode, this is the encrypted value. If we go to a another third party website named CyberChef, yeah, this is the original, this is the cyber crypted value. This is the original text, this is the cipher text. And it is just wrapped, I mean encrypted through base64 method. So it just directly says admin as output. So now we can bypass this through another file named role.html. First of all, the process of creating the role.html is same as the process of settings.html. So we can now just go and create the new HTML file named role.html. So now we created the role.html and pasted the code here. So we should just go to the main website and I mean main task web page and should paste and should follow the same instructions followed during the task 5. So if we just paste the role.html link as we see in the task 6, a web page will be opened. So when we hover the cursor above the uh, above the image means we can get the flags. So we are now getting two flags like after updating the value and also what is the next flag which is used to paste it in this box. So if I just copy this and paste this into the task 6 box, we can easily just it is a correct answer. So we obtain the first flag. For the second question, it's a question, it is very easy. In the above example, what is the name of the encoding scheme used by the developer for encoding CSRF tokens? So if we just go here means we can see it is base 64. So we can enter the base 64 and check the value means we can take the correct answer. So we just cross the main motion main cf the whole room. We just completed the task 5 and the task 6. So we can now move on to the task 7 named best practices. So for the task 7, you see it is just a theoretical page which stating and mentioning the key practices of CSRF. The CSRF mainly focuses on the state changing request, which where the prioritize the requests that modify data such as password changes, email updates, account settings, and so on. And the another one is inspecting requests for CSRF tokens. So checking the actions whether the actions include a CSRF tokens. If there is no tokens or the token is weak means the whole website and the whole process will be vulnerable and easily can be attacked. Then analyzing the HTTP methods, whether it is a post or get methods. So and next fourth one is testing the request outside of the application. So copying the request and try to reproducing it without any additional verification just leads to another vulnerable key point which leads to malicious attacks. And then observing the cookie behavior, here the whole process is can be done through the session cookie. So the attacker just uses the session cookie as an id card or verification card to trust to just trick the whole server and also the web browser and make the unnecessary actions. So for task 7 just checking just completes the whole task 7. When you go to the task 8 conclusion, is just the whole summary of the whole room. First of all, in this room we explore the concept of the CSRF and we just simulated a small CSRF through the staff hub. So it is just a summarization of the whole task. So checking it just completes the whole room. So we finally completed the whole room. The whole room, I completed the whole room through a temporary email named the home in 70779. So thank you.